Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, coming at you with a new review. Happy Fragrant Friday to you, my friends. This is the YouTube channel that welcomes you to your weekend. I bring new content every single Friday, and I almost always gloat and rave about a particular fragrance. I'm actually kind of happy this week because I finally found one that really sucks. So, this is going to be a short review because this one is god-awful, to be honest with you. So, about a year ago when I started the channel back up again, Dr. Goo over at Locked Scents, I will include him in the description. I'm not even sure he's currently doing reviews anymore, but we'll see. He sent me a whole bunch of samples, and I'm finally getting to them. He sent about 20 some that are individually tailored like this, and wanted to know my thoughts. And he threw in this guy here, which was actually wasn't a sample he made. It was a throw-in. And this one, you've seen the title and the description, so you know it is Chicago High by Vilhelm Parfumerie. And it says it's out of New York. It's a 2020 release. And I have tried so hard to find ways to see the creativity and appreciate the creativity in this one. I've also tried very hard because I'm not a fan of honey in fragrance, especially on women's perfume, but even in guys' perfume, I'm not a huge fan of honey necessarily, and I wanted to concede that point. So I thought about maybe giving it a 3 out of 5 because it is supposedly, creative. But then I saw how much they're charging, and man, I gotta tell you, this is one of the few times I'm not gonna get through this one, and I'm not gonna spray this one on me at the end of this review. It just does not work for me. This is a god-awful concoction. 2020 release. This is like honey glazed pineapple sitting next to really somebody with really bad BO. Really bad armpit odor, who's also smoking a nasty cigarette. That's exactly what it smells like, actually, as random as that is. It's like a honey-glazed pineapple next to a guy with really bad body odor, armpit odor, and who's smoking a really bad cigarette. It is just bad. I don't get it, and I wanted to read what they were trying to envision here because I was trying to think of, Chicago, obviously the font, it's going back to the roaring 1920s, and I wanted to really embrace that, and I just cannot in good faith. One advantage of having 67 views per episode is you can kind of just say what you want. It sucks. Do not get this. And when I saw that this was over $200 for a bottle, I mean, that's just laughable. That's my opinion, Anyway, this is what the Vilhelm Parfumerie said. Chicago High was conceived as a tribute to the classic perfumery of the 20th century and aims to plunge us back into the roaring 20s like an olfactory time machine. I wanted to express the effervescent feeling of a time period that was drawing to a close, but also the idea that there were hidden depths to all that glamour, a rhyme and reason for such luxurious pursuits, not just the decadence of society, says Jan Vilhelm. Of this sparkling cocktail of champagne and pineapple with a breath of honey and tobacco, which leaves behind a sigh of leather, amber, and patchouli. A note from the brand. I tried to really see this and go highbrow and see this as this creative work of perfumery and its homage to the 1920s. It just doesn't work. I'm not even going to do a part 2 where I talk about longevity and sillage and all this stuff because honestly, I just want to move past this one. And I've given a 1 out of 5 before in my review system. And that was that one, those of you who watch me each week might remember. It was one where it was like this protective, almost like lacquer that you would put on your skin. And it was meant so that a perfume or fragrance would last longer. So it was like a protective shield. And it smelled like paint. That was awful. And that was a 1 out of 5. This one is definitely a 2 out of 5 for me. I really wanted to give it a 3, like I said. Sometimes I'll give a 3 to one I don't like. but then I would just add that I wouldn't get it or I wouldn't buy it for somebody. I just don't like this one at all. So, after the first day, it was a head scratcher. After the second, I thought I'm really going to try to burn through this. And then after the third day, I just said, yeah, we're done. So 2 out of 5 for a 2020. This is my first fragrance from this house. Probably going to be my last, actually. Vilhelm Parfumerie. Looking over $200 a bottle is for a 3.4 ounce 100 milliliter is laughable. And I don't care what the bottle looks like. This is not for me. If you like honey, you might try a sample of this. This is not blind buy friendly, and the patchouli and leather really combine to smell like men's armpit. I mean, it just does. I'm not gonna. There's like I said, there's cigarette ash here. There's armpit BO, and there's this kind of cheap glazed, honey glazed pineapple. Not working for me one bit. I swear to God, I'm not grumpy. I'm actually happy. But this one did not work. Hey, you can't like them all. 2 out of 5. These will be faux sprays because I don't want anything on me with regard to this, because after it's going straight to the trash. So, Dr. Goo, if you see this, thanks for throwing it in, though, because, as I said, this just makes me look like I'm more discerning. I'm actually happy because, if you've watched me in the last year, you probably think, wow, this guy just likes everything. That's partly because Jerry and Brian have sent me a lot of stuff, oftentimes knowing my tastes, not necessarily, but oftentimes knowing that it's something I might like. It might be in my wheelhouse. This was a throw-in, and I'm so glad that Dr. Goose sent it in because, it's awful. 2 out of 5 faux sprays for Chicago High. Boom, and boom, and au revoir. Welcome to the bonus feature. I forgot to sign off properly, so I will do that in just a second. And I wanted to double check one thing, and it just went from bad to worse because this one is 205 USD for a 1.7 ounce 50 milliliter, so half the size of a regular bottle. I just double checked. That is atrocious. So any thoughts of bumping it up to a 3 have been eliminated. We are going 2 out of 5, and I'm glad to send this one a packing. Always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody.